Now that it's summer, more and more people are getting ready to head out of town, but making those travel plans can really be stressful if you happen to have a chronic illness, for example. Joining me now, Dr. Elizabeth Mead with Swedish Medical Center. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
So a lot of things to think about. How can people with chronic illness prepare for these kinds of trips?
Yeah, I think most people with chronic illness really can travel, but it's all about preparation and planning. So make sure that you talk to your doctor about what your plans are, that you get the okay from them, and then it's a great idea to always bring with you all of your prescription medications, copies of your prescriptions, and some other stuff that we can talk about in kind of a travel kit.
Yeah, so if you're making a travel kit, how much do you put in there? What are you preparing for?
So definitely all your prescription medications, and I would even say bring some extra doses of each of them. You never know what might happen, and it might be a good idea to store those separately. I was traveling actually in Africa with someone who had diabetes, and baboons broke into the tent and ate all of her diabetes medication, and she did not have any extra. So it's a good idea to keep it a little bit separate, a little extra stash for a couple of days in case you need it. Copies of your prescriptions are really important, especially for anything that's a controlled substance or anything injectable like insulin, because those can be harder to get if you're in a foreign country. And then I would say keep a list of all of your meds with the doses, any allergies you have, and then your doctor's name and contact information.
Chronic illness or not, if you travel out of the country and happen to find yourself there and you get sick,
yes.
what do you do?
Yeah. So it may be a good idea if you have a chronic health condition or anything that's serious or acute that you think about whether, when you book the trip, do you need insurance? So do you need trip cancellation insurance, or do you need supplemental health insurance or evacuation insurance, depending on where you're going?
Is it possible that the country you're traveling to might restrict a certain medication? How do you look that kind of a thing up?
It's very possible. So if you look on the government website, they can tell you about different travel restrictions, and the CDC often will have information about traveling to different places as well. You can also ask your doctor, but it's a good idea to know not only are there going to be restrictions, but wherever you're going to be staying, whether it's in this country or not, what's the closest place for you to get medical care related to where you're staying.
And how can you vet that medical care, both when we talk about medications and the actual clinical care you're receiving? Because you might be somewhere and realize, oh, this medication's a lot less expensive here, or I can be treated here for a lot less.
Yeah.
What are we looking out for with
I don't recommend doing that. Okay. So I think if it's in an emergency and you need care, you get care wherever you are.
Right.
But sort of shopping around for medications that you might be able to buy over the counter in other countries or things that might be less expensive, it's generally not a great idea. We really are a proponent of keeping your care within your medical home, and so having your primary care doctor be aware of everything you're doing and trying to keep your care as close to home as possible.
So really it's all about preparation before you leave.
Yeah, it's all about preparation. So I think, again, when you book your trip, think about what kind of insurance you might need that's extra. About 4 to 6 weeks before you go, especially if you have a chronic condition, you want to talk with your doctor and make sure that your plans are safe and that they think it's okay. And then a week before, I would say make sure you have all your medications, all your prescriptions refilled, make your little travel kit. And those are kind of some steps leading up to the time when you're going to go, just to make sure everything's in order.
Check, 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 and double check. Dr. Elizabeth Mead with Swedish Medical Center, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.